The entire courtroom fell silent when Officer Garrett Voss slammed his fist onto the witness stand and glared across the room with the same arrogance that had protected him for nearly 2 decades. He believed his badge made him untouchable. He believed that power could silence truth. But on that bright Tuesday morning, under the harsh daylight streaming through the courthouse windows, Garrett Voss made the biggest mistake of his life. He underestimated the woman sitting quietly at the plaintiff's table. Before we begin this unforgettable story, if you believe that kindness, justice, and second chances still matter in this world, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in doing what's right, and subscribe to Beyond the Verdict for more powerful stories that touch the heart. The city of Brookhaven had trusted Officer Garrett Voss for 18 years. Standing over 6 feet tall with a decorated service record and numerous commendations pinned to his office wall, Garrett had built a reputation as someone who got results. To the public, he was a respected law enforcement officer. To many of his colleagues, however, he was something else entirely. Over the years, complaints had quietly accumulated against him. Citizens accused him of intimidation, excessive force, and abuse of authority. Yet every complaint disappeared into filing cabinets, buried beneath layers of bureaucracy and institutional loyalty. Garrett knew exactly how far he could push people. He had learned that authority itself often frightened others into silence. That confidence followed him everywhere, especially on the day he encountered Dr. Althea Monroe. Dr. Althea Monroe was not someone who sought conflict. At 46 years old, she had dedicated her life to helping others. A respected civil rights attorney and university professor, she had spent nearly 2 decades advocating for marginalized communities, teaching constitutional law, and mentoring young students who dreamed of creating a fairer society. Calm, thoughtful, and deeply compassionate, Althea understood the law not merely as words written on paper but as a promise society made to its people. It was a clear spring afternoon when their paths crossed. Althea had been driving home after delivering a lecture at Eastbrook University. The streets were bright with afternoon sunlight, children played in nearby parks, and families enjoyed the warmth of the day. Then, suddenly, flashing lights appeared in her rearview mirror. Confused, Althea pulled over immediately. What happened next changed both of their lives forever. Witnesses later described Garrett's behavior as unusually aggressive from the moment he approached her vehicle. Despite Althea's calm demeanor and full cooperation, Garrett escalated the situation rapidly. He questioned her credentials, mocked her profession, and accused her of resisting instructions she had already followed. Several bystanders recorded portions of the encounter on their phones, disturbed by what they were witnessing. By the end of the encounter, Dr. Althea Monroe had been publicly humiliated, unlawfully detained, and physically injured. Garrett drove away believing, as he always had, that there would be no consequences. But Garrett did not know who Althea Monroe truly was. She did not call reporters. She did not stage protests. She did not seek revenge. Instead, she went home, documented every injury, collected every witness statement, requested every body camera recording, and began building a case. For 6 months, Althea worked quietly. She slept little. She balanced her university responsibilities while painstakingly preparing a lawsuit that would challenge not only Garrett Voss but the entire culture that had protected him for years. Friends worried about her health. Colleagues encouraged her to settle. Yet Althea understood something important. If she remained silent, countless others would continue suffering in silence too. As the trial approached, public interest exploded. The courtroom filled every morning with journalists, law students, community leaders, and ordinary citizens who wanted to witness what many called the trial of accountability. Garrett remained confident. He appeared before cameras wearing his uniform, convinced his years of service and reputation would shield him once again. Then the evidence began. Video footage emerged showing critical moments Garrett had denied under oath. Witness after witness testified consistently about his conduct. Former colleagues reluctantly admitted that complaints against Garrett had been ignored for years. Internal department records revealed patterns no one had previously been allowed to discuss publicly. And throughout it all, Althea Monroe remained composed. She never raised her voice. She never sought sympathy. She simply presented the truth. The moment that changed everything came during Garrett's cross-examination. Under careful questioning, his contradictions multiplied. His confidence slowly eroded. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, Garrett Voss could not intimidate the person sitting across from him. He could not silence evidence. He could not hide behind his badge. The courtroom that once felt like another stage for his authority became the place where he finally faced accountability. As the jury left to deliberate, silence consumed the room. Garrett sat alone at the defense table, staring at the badge pinned to his uniform. For years, he had believed it represented power. But now, facing the consequences of his own actions, he realized that a badge was never meant to place someone above the law. It was supposed to remind them of their responsibility to serve it. After less than 4 hours, the jury returned. Their verdict changed Brookhaven forever. Garrett Voss was found liable on all major counts. The city announced sweeping reforms within weeks. Oversight procedures were strengthened. Internal investigations were reopened. And dozens of individuals who had remained silent for years finally found the courage to tell their own stories. But perhaps the most remarkable moment occurred outside the courthouse. As cameras flashed and reporters shouted questions, Dr. Althea Monroe paused on the courthouse steps and looked toward the crowd gathered under the afternoon sun. She did not celebrate Garrett's downfall. She did not express anger or revenge. Instead, she spoke about accountability, dignity, and the courage required to stand up when standing up feels impossible. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a comment, share it with others, and subscribe to Beyond the Verdict so that more stories of courage, justice, and humanity can be heard. Special request, comment below with the words, "Truth still matters," if you believe courage and integrity can change the world. As people slowly dispersed from the courthouse that day, many carried home a lesson they would never forget. Power without accountability eventually collapses, but courage rooted in truth can change not only one life, but an entire community. And on that bright afternoon in Brookhaven, one woman proved that no badge, no title, and no position of authority could ever place anyone above justice.